Councilmember Castaneda. Councilmember Ferguson is absent. Councilmember Fleming is absent. Councilmember Gaskins.
Here.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Here.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Here.
Council President Escobar.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act has been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which takes sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of Brunswick, has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board in City Hall, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of Brunswick, mainly the Home News Tribune.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we just want to reflect just a few minutes just to remind everyone that this holiday season is a time to reflect, to connect with others, to the loved ones, to celebrate traditions, to be grateful and to give to others, right? And in the midst of all the chaos and all that fun that we have with families, just take a time for yourself. Take time to rest, take time to self-care, which is also as important. And just wish you a season filled with love, happiness, love, and blessings. So happy holidays. Thank you.
Councilmember Castaneda. Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Madam Clerk, has the correspondence have been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Council President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office have been forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our council. Mr. Chairman?
Yes, thank you, Madam Council President, members of council. On your agenda, under these public hearings, this evening we have an application for a distance waiver from Ray J. Bar LLC, trading as 30 Burgers from Bruce, 37 Easton Avenue, liquor license 1214-33-029-012. As the council is aware, pursuant to our ordinances, specifically RGO 5.08.160, when a liquor license goes into an establishment that will exist within 250 foot of another licensed establishment in a C4 or C5A district, the ordinance requires a public hearing with respect to that particular application. As council has reviewed a few minutes ago, on your consent agenda is also a liquor license transfer resolution that, assuming the hearing goes well and your council so inclined, will actually transfer this license into that location. However, with respect to the requirements of the transfer pursuant to the section of the ordinance that I just recited, I will advise the council that the applicant has met the requirements of the ordinance section with respect to the waiver application and satisfy the conditions of the waiver. However, the ordinance does require a public hearing, which the council is free to entertain momentarily. I will note for the record that there is present in the council chambers the applicants and I believe legal counsel for them. If the council is so inclined, I will ask legal counsel to give us a 30-second overview of what the proposed use is for this particular license at that particular location. Council.
Good evening, everybody. Attorney Cornell on behalf of the applicant Roger Bar LLC, members who must sit to my right. The location is going to be used as a restaurant purposes. It's going to be a burger, mainly a burger joint called 30 Burgers franchise. My client is hopefully, assuming the transfer gets approved, hopefully he's looking forward to serving more clientele with under the branch of the 30 Burger and also offering them the alcohol as approved by the town on the premises and looking to join this wonderful town. I know there's so many restaurants already in New Brunswick. We'll hopefully add more to the culture that's here.
Thank you, Council. Madam Council President, members of Council, having heard from the legal representative of the applicant, we could now open this matter for public hearing unless the Council has any questions for the applicant.
Any questions from council members at this time? Any questions from the public at this time? We will take any questions from the public specifically on this matter.
Good evening, Council. Charlie Prattville from Brunswick today. I wanted to ask if this chain, this 30 burgers, approximately how many locations do they have?
There are about there are about 16 locations so far.
Got it.
16 locations?
16.
16.
16.
Thank you. And are any of those licensed liquor?
This is the first.
This is the
with alcohol. This one is the first one they're trying to get with service of alcohol. The other locations do not presently serve it yet. If this is successful, they're actually looking forward to expanding to other locations as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just to be clear, this is the same license that used to be at that location. I guess the place closed, the Roman place, and then they're buying that license and want to transfer it to the same exact location. That's correct?
Yes,
It used to be Ani Rani Brunswick.
May I ask the sale price for the license?
Council President, the sale price was $275,000.
Okay. And I guess one more question, just are there proposed hours of operation? Are they going to be open until 2 a.m. like most of the bars, or close earlier?
I mean, we're going to comply with the lease terms that the landlord has given us. If you want the exact hours, but I believe we're not planning to stay open beyond 12.
Yeah,
12 probably.
Midnight.
Okay.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank
you. Good luck.
Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council with these any questions on this specific matter? Saying none, I will propose a motion to close the public hearing.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins. Councilmember Socorro, yes. Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes.
Madam Council President, members of Council, if the Council so inclined, therefore, the transfer is, as I indicated, submitted for your consideration on consent agenda with respect to this particular transfer.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're done.
We're done.
Thank you. Let's go back. Now we're going to go back. We have ordinance on the second reading. We have ordinance 122-401, which is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick Title 8, Health and Safety. We are adding a new chapter, 8.33, Smoking in Public. Before we go, I entertain any comments from my fellow council members and the public. Mr. Chairman, can you just tell us a little summation of what it is that we're trying to accomplish with this?
Yes, Madam Council President, members of Council, as the Council is aware, and perhaps members of the public will recall, this ordinance was initially brought a couple of meetings ago, and on second reading, it was tabled so that the Council could have a closer look and perhaps perform some amendments recommended by the Council. That, in fact, was done. The new ordinance is modified in several ways, one of which, or three of which I should say, the no smoking ban, if you will, specifically only applies to smoking in City of New Brunswick owned or leased vehicles, in City of New Brunswick parks, in open spaces that are designated in the ordinance, and no smoking at city organized or sponsored festivals or events. All the other provisions and the prohibitions with respect to smoking at distances from open area doors and establishments, outdoor establishments, were removed from the ordinance at this time.
Thank you. Any members of the council wish to make any comments or have any questions on this specific ordinance.
I'd like to make a comment, Madam President. So as the city attorney stated, I just want to state that this ordinance does reinforce the current state statute on regulating smoking in public. And I believe that it promotes, or it serves to promote rather, a commitment that we have to cultivating a safe and healthy environment, in particular for our youth here in the city.
Thank you. Anybody else? So at this time, we are preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only. You have up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. So if any member of the public wishes to address the council on this specific ordinance, please come forward.
Hi, my name is Carissa Cunningham. I'm at 217 Harrington Street. I'm encouraged to see that there have been some amendments made to this proposal as far as keeping away from, as far as being close to public entrances. However, I feel like a major oversight that was brought up before that still hasn't been addressed by the council is the public parks. Because in effect, you're going to be charging people, $250 on the first offense up to $500, right? And we talked about before how if you're on a roll ride or something, you're in a public park, right? So if you're homeless, for example, living in a public park, right? Because we don't have a homeless shelter here, okay? And then the Code Blue place is not open most of the time, right? So you're forced to stay in that area, right? If you're smoking, listen, some people smoke. Get over it, okay? In the public park, the homeless have a right to be there, right? Because there's nowhere else for them to be. So this law, in effect, goes after homeless people living in New Brunswick, right? You guys made changes for businesses, right? Because you care about what business people say in the city. But do you care about the homeless? That is what this smoking ordinance is about, right? If you care about the homeless people, you'll understand that if you put these fines on people, this will lead to people being in the prison industrial complex. If you, like even just today I was talking to a comrade who was explaining the parole system to me, right? So I'm going to explain it to all of you, just in case you don't already understand, right? If you have any interaction with the police, that can lead you back into the prison industrial complex, okay? For something as simple as the police just coming up, talking to you, running your name through the system. A simple ticket can get you back to the prison industrial complex, right? For the most vulnerable in our city, this is actually really important, right? You guys cared about the businesses who didn't want you to not allow their workers to smoke outside, right? You care about rich people. But the question is, do you care about the working class and poor people, right, who will be affected by this ordinance, okay, in this very particular way? I support the idea of not exposing people to secondhand smoke. Of course, duh. Everyone agrees with that, right? But you have to think about everyone when you're designing these policies, right? There should be areas in the public park designated where smokers can go so that, right, there's at least a space where homeless people have a spot where they can go to and not get harassed by the police, right? Because what this will do, this ordinance will inevitably lead to the harassment of the homeless people in New Brunswick, right? They're already being harassed regularly by the police for basically nothing, right? This gives the police the justification for continued harassment, all right? So, I understand major adjustments for rich people. Now, can you at least listen to some of the people who are going to be affected by this, right? And make those adjustments for the homeless.
Hi, yes, Danielle. Well, first thing I have to say, I think you should have put on this due to where, okay, smoking in public. What in this ordinance, you can smoke cigarettes, you can smoke marijuana, you can smoke crack, and I think you should have put it in full detail. What are you talking about smoking? What due to where? Can you please tell me, would that include everything? Cigarettes, marijuana, crack?
It is included, Ms. Danielle.
Huh?
It is included, all of that.
Well, I think you should have put it on paper where people can see it. Well, like I said, I don't see it. It just says smoking in public. And then due to where the number one thing that I should have said, but I know the city wouldn't dare go through it, I say no smoking in public in school zone. Due to where how the law, that used to be the biggest biggest arrest due to where selling marijuana in school zone. I say due to where that's a big issue already, but I know the city isn't about that due to where, wow, you already approved 4 marijuana shops to be between 2 schools on Jersey Avenue in the future. But like I said, due to where, and I say it should not be due to where just with parks. Honestly, I thought this was really a connection too, where some of you seen on Facebook, and how many times did I tell you, wow, out of the past 2 years, between the weather and people complaining about smoking marijuana in public, that was where the outdoor dining, where people were saying, I'm not bringing my children around someone who's, it may be legal to have someone smoking marijuana. So I like I said, I think due to where this should be more than just this park. Like I agree, no secondhand smoking, but I'm beginning to go along due to where that you are just after certain people. And I know the city, like I said, due to where not concerned. I'm already disappointed when you approve 4 marijuana shops that are going to be in between 2 schools. But like I said, wow, how much smoking due to where, what do you see going on next to the schools? That's what, Jersey Avenue, that due to where basically most of the parks are, some of them are next to schools, so I don't see why you just put it for park instead of school areas too. And honestly, if anyone had caught on to me due to where I said, wow, where do you see most overdoses, smoking? Where do you see crime? I said, oh, don't list a street, don't list the area. Oh, I said, what is it always happening next to? A bar or the parks? And believe me, as someone due to where I know with the crime, see it a lot, due to where I don't feel that this should be just along with parks. Due to where you have the right resolution, just like what the boardwalk, due to where it says what you cannot smoke marijuana even though it's legal. Due to where, please, I will just look into. Wow, it's not good to see the kids learning things, and what I'm seeing in certain areas due to where what they walk past it. So I pray you look into the future due to where, come on. Certain feet away from schools the same way the law was. That was the biggest charge of you if you got caught with selling marijuana. Because that's my concern. I will say due to where I'm really beginning to think of due to where at what I just heard that, wow, are you really just after the homeless? But like I said, what? How many people, and I meant how many people do you really have it in businesses, in front of businesses, people are complaining? Have someone been around to ask questions ever since you opened up the 2 shops down here? Any differences with their customers complaining? Has anyone checked into that? You don't have to answer. Like I said, you're the main one who always talk about respect, and eventually you just don't have respect for others.
Good evening. My name is Dana Herrera, and I'm a member of Proyecto Esperanza. I'm here to show support for the safe and smoke-free parks. As a mother of 4 kids in Brunswick, I really would love to see a change in going to the park. I have stopped to taking my kids to the park for the same reason, that I cannot be on the park and not be smelling like marijuana or cigarettes. So I know this is something that not only concerns me, but concerns a lot of people in my community and us as parents. I think it will be better environment for our kids, for our elders, for everybody in our community, and I really want to see a change. I am very confident that you guys are is gonna do everything to be able to make these changes, and thank you.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Ricardo García, soy residente de Brunswick y soy voluntaria en los programas de Brunswick Tomorrow.
Good evening, my name is Ricardo Garcia. I'm a resident of New Brunswick and a volunteer member with Brunswick Tomorrow and the Esperanza Project.
Estoy aquí para apoyar los parques seguros libres de smog, de humo, porque yo creo que es, de alguna forma hace daño a la salud de las personas.
I'm here to support safe and smoke-free parks because I believe it's important to protect our health.
También siento que las familias no pueden ir a disfrutar de un rato con sus niños a jugar porque siempre hay muchas personas fumando.
I also think it's important because a lot of families feel like they can't take their kids to play in the park because a lot of times there are a lot of people smoking.
Otra cosa es también que la parte que queda como basura daña la tierra, daña los jardines se ve mal cuando es mucho en los lugares.
And also the cigarette refuse, cigarette litter, gives a bad look in the park, creates a lot of litter that's hard to pick up and damages the environment and the look of the parks.
También me gustaría que puedan poner, no sé, alguna infracción a las casas, porque afuera en los patios que están frente a las calles, las personas que salen a fumar a la calle, dejan ahí mucha basura y es imposible recogerla.
And also we'd like to see more attention given or infraction violations for people who smoke outside their houses but then throw the cigarette litter in the streets where it's impossible to clean up and creates headaches for other people and the environment.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gladys doing City Councilman. I'm a long lifetime resident. My name is Walter Wood, right? And this lady, Mrs. Clarissa Cunningham, said some good values today. You know what I mean? Now, I just want you guys to listen. I'm going to keep it short and brief. I'm on parole, all right? So therefore, when I did 10 years in prison, I smoked from time to time, all right? Because when I was in prison, it's a lot of stress. And I choose to cigarettes and coffee, you know what I mean? So as I come home today, a lot of things has changed. In my neighborhood, I see a lot of faces that I haven't even never seen before. Homeless, people that come from different counties, migrating right here in the city of New Brunswick, sleeping on the businesses in the streets and everything. We cannot even allow to even use the bathroom. Before I got incarcerated, they tell me that I have to buy something to use the bathroom. So therefore, if I'm just come home after doing 10 years of my life and I don't have no money, how can a public establishment tell me that I'm not allowed to use the bathroom because I don't have no money? So therefore, if I have to do a number 2, where am I have to do it at? You know what I mean? Because I can't go into a privacy of a public building to use a bathroom. You guys is not going through that because you got houses and everything to go through. I just came home. I'm on parole. I don't have nowhere to go. You see what I'm saying? After doing 10 years of my life. Now you tell me that I cannot smoke. Okay, before I left, you can go into, you can stand outside a public establishment and smoke. Therefore, like this young lady said, if I smoke and I'm on parole, I have a police contact. You see what I'm saying? Therefore, when you're on parole, you cannot have any police contact. You is in total violation. You can go back and finish your prison time. So there's some issues that's right. So if I cannot go to a park, where am I going to smoke? If I'm a smoker, where am I going to smoke? You guys are not understanding this. Where am I smoke? If I can't go into an establishment, nowhere to sit down and smoke, okay, The next thing is a park. I understand it's kids. I understand it's kids. So now, what's the solution? You know what I mean? It gotta be some type of solution involved. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be somewhere and see, my mother and father was heavy smokers. Heavy smokers. They smoke a pack, 2 packs a day. You see what I'm saying? So I don't smoke like that, but every now and then, I might want to have a 1 or 2 cigarettes. So if I can't go to the park and you guys put in these fines and stuff, I'm at risk of going back to prison. You see what I'm saying? For a $250 fine that I can't pay, and then if you don't pay that, it goes up to $500. And listen, it is crazy. Let it make sense, city council members. Let it make sense. We have to find a solution to the problem. You know, not be the problem, but find a solution to the problem. Because there's a lot of people in this town that's our smokers, that have been smoking for years. If you're a smoker, smoker is an addiction just like alcohol, drugs, and everything. You have that nicotine addiction. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, you won't find a way or somehow to light up that cigarette. You know what I mean? Not thinking the causes and the events that might happen after you light up that cigarette. So I just want you guys to understand that I smoke, and my main thing is I don't want to have no police contact. I want to do the right thing, city councilman. You know what I mean? Because I've been gone for a whole decade of my life, and a lot of things have changed around here. And I'm a long lifetime resident. I used to work for the city of New Brunswick 20 years. Knew Mayor Cahill. I know all these, Glenn Fleming, and I went to school with all these people. They know me. You know what I mean? I even know T.K. Shammy over there, the lawyer. You know what I mean? I know everybody. He's a good attorney, though. Expensive, but a good attorney. He's very expensive, but a good attorney. But you know what? I just want you guys to, when you make these decisions, you think about the cause and the was not, and what can happen to a person like me, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to do the right thing. And I don't want to violate my parole officer because I had a police contact over a cigarette. Wow, you guys gonna really send me back to prison and I still have 5 years left on my parole? That I could do a third of that just for a $1 cigarette. Not even a $1 cigarette. So understand the situation. All right. Okay. Yeah, okay. Understand the situation we're in, and understand this young lady about the cigarette butts and messing up our environments. That's why we have city park workers. You know what I mean? They can come around. You know what I mean? Instead of being in front of buildings, sitting, talking on their radios and all that, eating hour, 2-hour lunches. See, I'm used to all this. You know what I mean? Listen. Do your job. You got, it's 8 hours. It's 24 hours in the day. 8 hours of that. Do your job. Go around, clean up, you know what I mean? Because that's what the city guys get paid to do. Interact with the city people. You know what I mean?
Can I give you one more second because your time is up?
Okay, thank you. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, before I start, I'd like to say, like a lot of other people here, I empathize with people who want to support the ban, who don't want smoke in the parks. I also don't want smoke in the parks. I just happen to think that this ban is not the right way to go about it. My critique of the ban is that I think it doesn't really address the root causes of why people are smoking to begin with. I think if we really cared about, reducing smoking numbers, cleaning up from around our city, we'd look at the reasons why people start smoking to begin with, which is poverty, which has a high correlation with smoking. It's the stressors that are involved in everyday life that can be seen in a lot of places around the city. So, I feel like this ban is kind of just a band-aid on the solution, and it's letting what's underneath kind of festering. And once we look at those issues, all we're going to be doing is fining people, putting people in jail, putting people back into the prison industrial complex like was mentioned earlier. And to be honest, when I look at what the city has done, I don't really see an effort to address, for example, the poverty that drives people to smoke in the first place. In fact, I would say that this ban probably contributes to those stressors by fining people and sending them back to prison and whatnot. So I'd say if the city does really care about stopping smoking from being so prevalent, it would look at why kids start smoking, why people are driven to cope in this manner in the first place. And this ban simply doesn't do that. I think if if we don't look at those stressors, it's a sign to our community and a sign to the city that we don't really care about this problem, and we're kind of just doing the bare minimum to look like it cares. So, and that was all I had to say. Thanks.
My name is Bart, and I live right across the river in Piscataway. And I just real quick want to point out that there might be a little bit of hypocrisy in approving, because I'm not a fan of smoking personally. I don't smoke. Most of my family doesn't. We're privileged to have had the education to know that it's no good for us, right? But there's addiction is addiction, right? We can say okay, this isn't good for you. We want to support you in doing better for yourself and for the people around you. But punishing people just isn't effective and has been proven through the past few decades of the war on drugs. All drugs, right? We had prohibition 100 years ago. We had the war on all the other drugs in the past few decades. But it hasn't really solved the problem and has only pushed people into poverty and imprisonment. And we don't even there's not even the kind of lip service of we're going to put the money generated by the fines public education on the dangers of cigarettes. We're not even doing that much. We're just punching people, collecting money, pocketing it for police $9,000 trucks, $90,000 trucks. We are not even we just approved a liquor license for people to sell drugs, but we're not helping people who are affected by substance abuse or in a genuine way. I think that makes a little bit of a contradiction there. And I'm not very well with my apologize, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council on this particular ordinance?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Esther. Tengo 20 años viviendo ahora en Brunswick. Tengo 4 hijos.
Good evening. My name is Maria Esther Gutierrez. I've lived in New Brunswick for 20 years. I have 4 children.
Y quiero comentar algo relacionado sobre lo que son las personas.
And I want to share a comment related to some of the other comments people shared.
Entendemos su punto de vista porque son personas adictas y tienen esa adicción y no juzgamos, que no es una para juzgar.
And we understand that some people have that addiction to smoking, and we don't judge people for those addictions.
Pero quiero que nos entiendan a nosotros también, que queremos cortar la pena de nuestros hijos, que no vean que es cosa normal y que no vean que es cosa bien hecha, que tenemos que cortar esas adicciones, porque ese es el futuro de nuestros Brunswick, en Estados Unidos, así que realmente tenemos que cortar esa adicción.
But we also want to see that chain broken of the idea that it's okay and it's normal, right, and to be accepted to smoke in public where parks where we don't want our children to see that and to think it's something that they should be doing as well. And so we want you to think about breaking that chain and the future of our children in the country.
Y entendemos que relacionado sobre la necesidad de tal vez de la tabaco, eso, ok, es algo esencial, pero fumar no es algo esencial para mí.
And we understand the point about people without homes need to find a place to go to the bathroom. That we understand. But we don't think that being able to smoke in public is something that's essential.
De igual manera, no queremos enseñarles a nuestros hijos que eso no es normal, que no es esencial para vivir. Queremos totalmente que crezcan una nueva generación haciendo la diferencia. Y solamente así vamos a poder hacer.
And we want our kids not to think that's normal and to grow up with a different mentality as a new generation.
Yo también estoy de acuerdo con el doctor Mar, ¿por qué? Porque
also in support of the ordinance to ban smoking in the parks and why. An example, I saw an adult sell cigarettes to a 12-year-old.
Y lo puso a vender y el niño pues es dinero, obvio, a cualquier niño le va a gustar, ¿verdad? Y yo fui y puse la demanda a la policía y la policía dijo, no podemos hacer nada, los cigarrillos ya es normal.
And then had this 12-year-old selling cigarettes, and I went to report it to the police, and the police said, well, we can't do anything now, it's legal.
Y poner que hagan algo con esos adultos, porque ¿qué esperamos ahorita con los niños? Cuando los niños ahorita están niños y cuando lleguen al futuro, ¿cómo van a hacer? Algo, ya van a estar en la adicción del cigarrillo, de la droga. ¿Qué esperamos al futuro de ellos si esto sigue así?
And so what do we hope for the future of our children? That they think smoking and drugs is normal, and addiction is normal. We want something different.
Y que pongan una multa a esos adultos que ahorita están poniendo a los niños.
And that we ticket those adults who are taking advantage of children that way.
Porque si ellos no hacen nada, ¿qué esperamos al futuro? Ahorita lo hizo con un hijo mío. Y ahorita con otros niños, ¿qué esperamos? ¿Que sigan haciendo los adultos lo mismo por los niños?
And they did it with one of my children, and so what are we waiting for? That they keep trying to do the same with other children.
Eso es todo, gracias.
That's all, thank you.
Anybody else on this particular ordinance? Any other comments? Seeing none? At this point, I will entertain a motion.
Motion closed.
To close.
No, you have to move it.
I'll move it, sorry. I'll move it.
Councilmember Castaneda. Councilmember Gaskins.
Really quick, I do want to just emphasize that smoking on near any school is already illegal under state law. So, that's definitely an enforcement issue. Make sure to report that. We want to make sure that's enforced. I thank everyone for their comments today. My vote here reflects that of young people who have stated that they want to be able to be in the parks without seeing smoking and other certain activities. And so I'm voting yes on this.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes, as she said, it includes the state law, so all that, yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Okay, and we have an ordinance to amend as supplemental. The City of New Brunswick, Title 10, because of traffic, Chapter 10, Code of General Provision, Administration and Enforcement, Section 1, penalties. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on this particular ordinance? Seeing none, I'm gonna open the floor for public hearing on this public ordinance. You have up to 5 minutes, time up. Any member of the public wishes to address the council on this particular ordinance, please come forward.
Yes, hello again, Charlie Cradaville, 143 Dam Street in Brunswick today. I'm asking, can you confirm for me that this ordinance does only one thing, and that's increase the amount that the parking authority gets from every parking ticket from $4 to $6, is that correct?
Segregado. Sorry,
Yes, that's correct. Okay, is there an estimate of how much additional revenue this will bring into the parking authority, or an idea for what will be done with the funds?
Mr. Delgado, do you have an idea, an estimate?
Do not have that
You
information.
have a crystal ball that will tell you how much you're gonna make out of
I'm
this.
showing it high back here, but you tell me anyway, no, if we wouldn't have that information.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not asking for anybody to predict the future, but surely somebody would have the number of summonses that were issued this year and led to a fee to the parking authority. Are we talking about 1,000, 10,000, 100,000? Any estimate at all of how many summonses in a year?
I don't know if Mr. Delgado is prepared to answer that question, Mr. Crowder.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take any guesses, so.
Yeah,
Okay. With all due respect, this is the second reading of the ordinance. It's already had a first reading. Everybody should have had time to do their homework, get their numbers together, and be able to answer questions like this. I don't think it's an outrageous question to ask approximately how much revenue do you expect is going to be steered towards the parking authority. Can you tell me, where does the revenue go now, the difference? Is the court counted as revenue for the city and it goes into the general fund?
The courts collect the fees, time of, when they process it, and then they remit it back to the city and the parking lot.
Okay, so what this does is it diverts funds from the city to the parking authority. So for every ticket, instead of $4 being diverted that would have gone in your budget, in the city government budget, now we're saying $6 is going to be diverted if you pass this today. What's the reason for doing that?
There's some responsibility attached to that, so it's not that we're giving money here. So, Mr. Delgado, would you like to talk about what are the responsibilities of those the parking authority has under this contract that we have? It's not that we're giving you here.
I think that when you consider the work that we do in terms of enforcement, okay, in helping the traffic mobility in effect in the state of New Jersey, we get $6 for every summer that we write. Counting to that, the important officers, the equipment, the resources, they go into the enforcement piece, component of the parking authority. And I think that disagree that that is a great amount of money, a significant amount of money that goes into the parking authority. So it goes into covering, expenses.
Yes.
That's also money that the city does not have to expend for the services.
So we're sharing
That's right.
the services,
Indeed.
like we do with other entities.
It's economy of scale,
It's
the
economy of
benefit of
scale.
taxpayer, absolutely.
Well, just for the record, you're getting that same service right now. If you do nothing, they'll continue to do it for $4 a ticket. What is proposed here is a 50% increase in the parking authority's cut of every ticket. I know you jacked up the tickets recently, so some of them are as high as $50, I believe. People are paying more. So, if there's an argument to be made that the parking authority deserves a greater share, that's one thing, but I haven't heard that argument. I am hearing that no math has been done. We don't know how many summonses. Does this apply to summonses only issued by the parking authority? What about summonses issued by the police department? Do those summonses also lead to the parking authority getting a cut?
I just want to clarify that it's not that no math has been done, it's just that we don't, Mr. Delgado doesn't have that figure that you're looking for in his mind right now. So you infer that it hasn't been done. I can infer that from the response that he gave. He doesn't have it readily available here for your pleasure, right? So, yes.
Also, President, also, I in recent memory don't recall this fee being raised, but I do know that the cost for operations in every entity, in every operation has gone up significantly, particularly in the last 5 years. I mentioned or saying that it's gone up a lot more in the cost than this nominal increase comparatively to that cost.
Can I get an answer to the question about summonses issued by the police department?
So, Mr. Delgado, do you have that answer?
No, I think he's making reference to the police department. I don't have any idea how many summonses the police department actually writes.
The question was,
No,
if the
once
police
they
do
make
this,
it-
if the police do it, does the $6 still go to the parking authority even though they didn't do the summons? No.
What would it go if the police did it? Right?
That's correct. Okay, I'm just checking. So
This is just a shared agreement with the parking authority, so if the parking authority does the job, they're the ones who do it.
So you're saying that the police
That's
tickets
my
don't have
understanding.
any cut that goes to the parking authority?
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Just to be clear, it's not a shared services agreement, it's an ordinance.
Well, what we're telling you, obviously it's not. But when we were talking about, you were asking and inquiring why we're doing this,
Yeah.
we're telling you that it's a form of a share, I call it a share services because that's a way of saving money for the taxpayers, and it's normal to use other entity to cover for some of the services that we do. But thank you.
There's been no
Next.
demonstration, there's a savings.
Next.
Yeah, you don't have that.
Thank you.
Yes, Danielle Moore. Well, I'm going to continue with Mr. Fryderville. Honestly, the way I look at this is something else from the city to help the parking authority with their debt due to where, just like, wow, cleaning the area, not getting clean, and the money goes to the parking authority instead of you hiring a construction company, just like what the county, what with helping them with their debt over there at the other building on Patrick Street. That's the way I see it. But due to where at least 2 months ago, I did give applause to the parking authority, saying thank you, where I see a difference of people getting more tickets where they're not supposed to be parked. But it was one thing. Now with your increase, due to where I did talk about in the traffic authority as meeting as well, due to where, okay, since you're getting raises, since you haven't had volunteers, please, I think you can hire someone now, due to where I spoke on the yellow curbs, due to where you're not supposed to park and where you do park, due to where how I ride through my area, I'm like, wow, why so the residents park there? It says, no, even though it has a sign there, but like I said, the paint wore away. Ooh, why does people who don't live here in New Brunswick, why don't they get tickets? But then due to where, residents who park there, they get tickets. It's a little fishy, but like I said, my point is, I did speak at the traffic authority meeting. Now you're getting increased. You're saying you don't know where the money's going. Then please, I would like to see the yellow lines being brightened up due to where, honestly, the way I said it should have been, and my son would have been the first one I would have said, due to where any child who's getting in trouble or whatever, where I say that would be a punishment to get these young teenagers due to where to do the right thing, where, let them do the paint the curbing, but I see a lot has to be done, but I was told that's under the parking authority, and I hope to see it get done due to where it's causing issues, even though nowhere to park already, but I find it, I'm wondering why guests, you see a neighbor have a party, due to where, wow, all their family members get to park there, no tickets, then due to where a resident, I don't drive, so it's not legal. What I'm seeing, I speak on. A resident, they'll get a ticket for parking there. So I hope to see that being done through the parking authority. Thank you.
Madam Council President, I certainly take the compliment from the lady. If she has any issues where she'd like to point she'd like to bring them up, I certainly be more than willing to listen to her. And deploy resources where they're needed.
At this time, any other member of the public wishes to address the council on this ordinance only? Saying none, the public comment on the ordinance is now closed.
Move the ordinance. Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have ordinance 122-403, it's an ordinance to amend and supplement and revise general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.16, Stopping, Standing, or Parking. This is time limit parking, parking meters. This is in reference to George Street. Mr. Delgado, would you like to give a brief summation of what are we doing with this particular ordinance?
Certainly, there's an area right adjacent to the Eldridge Hotel where now it's simply to drop off and pick up. It's 15-minute parking, but it's greatly abused. People park there for hours. So basically what we want to do is make sure that we create turnover and by using meters so that people pay for the appropriate time that they use the spaces rather than not pay or simply avoid, prevent others from the use of the spaces, which is limited. There's only 5-6 spaces in that area. But right now, if you try to go there, if you try to walk over to Dunkin' Donuts, you could not, because people park there and leave their car indefinitely.
Thank you. Whether my fellow council members have any questions or comments in respect to the ordinance? At this time, we are preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only. 5 minutes, one time up, only on this particular ordinance. So if you would like to talk about this particular ordinance, you have up to 5 minutes. Please come up to the mic.
Hello, I was here at the last meeting. My name is Brandon Gillivo. I've been an employee in this town for many years, right? Parking in this town is incredibly difficult. I'm sure you remember the resident here who was last week complaining about difficulty parking. I know the exact spots you guys are talking about. I can name 5 people right off the back of my hand that utilize that as a place to park when they go to work here in this city. Some of those people are also residents in this city. Why is it so difficult for us to park? Why is it more expensive to park here than it is in Jersey City? Why are we charging people for more hours than other places that have more foot traffic, right? More commerce, right? More thriving main streets. What does this do to bring more people into our town? What does this do to make people go, why the hell would I come to New Brunswick? I can't find anywhere to park. I get ticketed the second my meter is up because New Brunswick Parking Authority is sitting, watching an app and literally pulling up to people's cars and ticketing them, on top of harassing them, like against the law. Like, I've been in, right across from the Heldridge in that no parking, that says no parking but doesn't say no standing, and been harassed by a New Brunswick Parking Authority employee. Man, it's bad news. People come here and I listen to them complain. When I worked at Stage Left and visit Stage Left, I hear people complain. When I go to my job, I hear people complain. When I go to other people's jobs, I hear them complain. When I hear people from Johnson & Johnson come to this town, I hear them complain. So what are we going to do? So we're going to be charging those from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., right? 15 minutes allowed. So we're going to just cut that little bit of accessible parking that we have left in this town off. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it just doesn't make sense, and it seems like a lot of decisions are meant to hurt the town financially, you know? What is going to change that by doing that? How is that going to bring more foot traffic in? That's just my question, man. It just, I hear it from people who haven't been to New Brunswick in 5 years, and they come back, and the homeless people is a part of the problem. But not being able to park, like not being able to do anything other than to go to 5 bars, and there's no live music. What does this one thing, how does it benefit us? That's what I just need to know. I guess I don't know if I can answer to that, but hopefully it resonates with you guys.
Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council on this particular?
So are you really telling me, due to where someone just stands there, that the parking authority can give you a ticket? For example, I spoke on same area where you took all the benches. Remember how many senior citizens you have down there, which I've seen a couple already who are disabled, nowhere to take a break, where, okay, you got health issues to rest. I say the way I'm looking at it, and like I said, I said it to the county before, you're only just helping out with the damn parking authority's debt. We'll keep doing things, making it worse for residents. And like I said, that was the other situation why the outdoor dining didn't work again between raising the price to park. So wow, you think you're really inviting people, beauty is making people come to New Brunswick, but honestly, the way I see the city council, along with other departments, like I said, you're ruining New Brunswick.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the council on this particular ordinance? Saying none, public portion of this ordinance, public comment portion of this ordinance is closed.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes, now we're going to ordinance on first reading. We have ordinance 122-404. It's an ordinance to amend, as recommended, the revised ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, handicap parking. We are adding 236 George Street, 56 Delavan Street, and 258 Hale Street.
I move the ordinance being held on December 30th, 2024 at 4 p.m. Same date for your reference. Second. Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Then we have ordinance 122-405, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of Brunswick, Title 10, vehicles and traffic, parking zones for handicapped persons. We are deleting 28 Juliet Street, and we are adding 28 Juliet Street. Right?
Different type of handicap.
Thank you.
I move the ordinance in the council. Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins. Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Then we have resolutions 1 through 35. 35, as I indicated before, was pulled, so we have 1 to 34. Before any of my fellow council members, do you have any questions or any comments on any of the resolutions before us? I will ask Mr. Bruce if you could talk a little bit about number 33.
Sure. President, members of council, number 30 here, as it relates to the Green Acres Grant Program. The city council, city administration, and the mayor continues to expand our park and green spaces as well as revitalize them. We have applied for and successfully achieved 2 grants, one for $1.4 million and one for $750,000 for the renovation of Alex Baker Park. The plans for this were discussed in this chamber with this council, with public input, and this is going to make a significant impact to be able to deliver the service without impacting our tax rate. So we're glad to receive this money and be awarded it. This action would allow have the council accept the funds.
Excellent, thank you. At this time, we are preparing to open the meeting for public comments on the resolutions only. We have up to 5 minutes. Any member of the public wishes to address the council on any of the resolutions, please go forward.
Hi, my question is for 10. Due to where, honestly, I know there are a couple of areas that I consider a dam, but would you please tell me which location is this? What, the beginning of Boyd Park, due to where, or the one by Landing Lane, or also due to where how they made the walkway to where you take the separating between the canal and the Raritan River. So would you please tell me which location this is?
Mr. Wallace.
This project is for the 4 dams that the city owns on the Lawrence Brook. There is a lower dam on the Weston Mill Pond where our intake is. There is a dam on a little further upstream on the Weston Mill Pond. There's a dam at the Farrington Lake, that's the largest one, that impounds 880 million gallons of water. And then there's a dam at the Davidson Mill Pond in South Brunswick.
So, okay, so basically this has nothing to do with the Raritan River on down that side.
It has nothing to do with the record.
All right, thank you very much. I know I saw one more. Then also, that's 20. I would like to know, due to where is this, since we've been pretty lucky with the weather, is this a little under what the city usually spends for salt?
Mr. Valenti.
Well, excuse me, Madam Council President, this is a typical purchase of salt that happens every year. Depending on how much you might have had left over from last year, then we don't necessarily buy the same amount because we can only store so much. So it might be a slower value or lighter value than last year, but we didn't consume as much last year.
Okay, that's all I was just checking due to where, like I said, I see roller coaster this year, winter, up and down with the temperature. So that's all I was just really saying about. I didn't do too. I'm a little slow, the buzzer goes off, to it. I can't seem to find it, so maybe that's not meant for me to speak on. No, I don't see where this thing.
Good evening again, Charlie Pratt of LC Street in Brunswick. With the water utility, the Jones Ave, Resolution 11, Jones and Delavan water system improvements, can you be a little more specific about what the improvements are?
Mr. Wallace.
Basically, the length of Jones Avenue, we're going to replace the water main in kind. It's with an 8-inch water main. We'll also replace the fire hydrants along that stretch. All the appurtenances that deal with water services to the curb box, and any galvanized or lead services that we might have.
Thank you.
And is it a portion of Delavan Street? I heard it was the whole length of Jones. What about Delavan?
Mr. Wallace.
It would include 2 blocks on Delavan between Nickel and Paul Rose.
The next one, 12, can you tell me about those improvements to the pump station? Specifically, what needs to be improved, is being replaced?
Mr. Wallace.
There are 2 gatehouses referred to as the north and south gatehouse at the plant that date back to 1873, original structures with the utility. Mostly it's going to be roof replacement. They're historic structures, so complicated is the best way to put it. It's going to be repointing brick and removing conduits and structures that were added on over the years, kind of get them more to their original look. The Weston Mill North Pump Station improvements is replacing a flat roof on the Weston Mill North Pump Station, which was built in 1926.
Thank you. Move on to 17, the noise ordinance for Sterling Side residences. I see it goes through late January. Can you tell me when the construction is expected to actually be complete and the building will open?
Mr. Valenti.
Actually, Madam Council President, I don't have that specific date. I believe it's in mid-spring or late spring, but we can, the schedule may change slightly, but I believe it's in mid to late spring.
Thanks. 21, as another contract for French and Perello. Can you tell me, this is $11,000, but how many were the first, I guess, 2 supplemental services contracts? What's the total that they're getting for supplemental services?
Mr. Valenti, do you have that?
I don't have that specific information in front of us. This specific is for a complicated surveying task that we're asking to do. They had a previous one for flood mitigation study, and there was an additional general services. I don't have the exact number. My guess is something in the $80,000, maybe it would be more specific.
Thank you. 25, $70,000 for grant administration from the UEZ for first generation enterprise zone assistance funds. Can you tell me a little bit about this $70,000?
Mr. Dominguez.
Thank you, Council President. So earlier this year, before we knew what our allocation was for this fiscal year by the state advised us to apply for a first half estimate of admin funds. So we applied and submitted for $70,000 in June for July through December. This is the follow-up for the rest of the fiscal year for another $70,000 to cover administrative costs of operating the program for January through June of next year.
I guess I'm puzzled how there could be that much in administrative costs for the program. Can you tell me about the program? Is there city staff that are working on it, and that's who's going to get the $70,000?
This offsets the salaries and wages of city staff that work on the project, as well as supplies and equipment that are purchased to support them.
And what, forgive me if it's already been said, first generation enterprise zone assistance, what is that? Is that for businesses or for home buyers?
The first generation refers to that this is money that is being granted to us as a municipality for the first time. If we were to take that money and develop it into a program, like that was like a revolving program where businesses paid money back to us, those would be called second generation funds as they become recycled. So that's just what it's called when it's the first batch of money that comes through from the state.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public on the resolutions?
Hi, yes, I'd like to talk about the resolutions 29 and 28, approving all kinds of more money for vehicles for the police department. I'd like to know why these vehicles are being purchased.
Why are we buying vehicles?
We're buying vehicles because we have to respond to emergencies. And these are replacing vehicles in some cases that are 15 years or more older, and they've all reached the end of their useful lives.
Thank you.
Okay, but what about the off-road vehicles? Utility vehicles, $200,000.
Ford Explorers, these prices are set by the state.
Right, but what are those for?
They're Ford Explorers, police cars.
The same thing, police cars and they fancy the ones that we have already.
Interesting. I just want to know, like, how much money this is. Like, really think about how much money that is. You guys are willing to spend all this money on goddamn police cars, excuse my French, all right? But you won't pay for the Code Blue shelter to actually be open, so homeless people have somewhere to stay at night? Like, I want to highlight some of the things that other people who are here have talked about as far as this feels like a war on the citizens, right? You're willing to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on police cars for allegedly responding to emergencies, which you do not, okay? They don't, okay? They never solved my case when I was in a hit and run, right? They don't solve crime in this city. They don't care, right? They won't even let us know how many crimes have been committed in the city, right? And they don't, like, actually solve any of the crime. They don't. Instead, they just drag my neighbor out of the house over a mental health incident. That's what they care about, oppressing us. So what I am asking you all to do, okay, and all of you, not just Escobar, right? All of you are supposedly our elected representatives, okay, is to actually take this shit seriously. We've been asking, I've been in tons of these meetings, over and over and over and over and over again. I come again and again and again and again and again. My tax dollars pay for this shit. That's not what I want. That's not what any of us want. We don't want that. We don't want police that don't actually give a shit about us. Okay, checking their time, right? Oh, you're checking your time, you're checking your watch, seeing how much longer you have to actually listen to the public. You are here to listen, and I can say what I want. It's called freedom of speech. It's called freedom of speech.
I'm asking you
It's
to
called
talk to
freedom
me.
of speech.
So lower it down.
You
I'm
can
talking
ask
now.
me, but I do not have to comply. You
I'm
can
asking
ask
you.
me,
So lower
but you
it,
do
lower
not.
it a
I
bit,
do not
lower
have
it
to
a bit.
comply.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not yelling at you. I was talking to you very nice, kindly.
You interrupted my thought. I am the public. I am here. This is
And
my
I will
right.
let you, and I will give you the time to continue, but lower your voice.
I will
Thank
do
you.
what
Go
I
ahead.
want with my freedom of speech. Thank
Go
you very
ahead.
much.
I'm not telling you, I'm not taking away your
You
freedom
love
of
to
speech, but
interrupt
lower
all
it.
of us.
Go ahead.
You love to interrupt us.
Go ahead.
Okay? As I was saying, you're here to serve the public. Okay? Stop being disrespectful to all of us. Have some respect, all of you. Clearly, I give a shit. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. It's a Wednesday night. You think I want to be here? I don't want to be here. None of us want to be here. We want to be at home. I want to be spending time with my family, okay? But instead, I'm down here explaining why I don't want the police to buy fancy new vehicles instead of making sure that my neighbors have somewhere warm to lay their head at night. tone of voice, my delivery, than you are what I'm saying, right? Because if you cared about what I'm saying, you or any of the rest of the council would have taken even one thing I've said, ever, seriously. But you don't. Because you don't care what I have to say. And you don't care about what real people living in New Brunswick have to say. You only care if it's connected to an NGO that you're on the board of. That's the period. That's the real out. That's the truth. That's the truth. And you used to work for the police, right? So you take it personal when I go out and talk.
Thank you. I don't take it personal. Because if I would take it personal, I wouldn't be doing this. But don't yell at me. I don't allow that from anybody. So that's the last thing. Anybody else on the resolutions only? You already did resolutions, Ms. Danielle. We still need the resolutions.
Resolution?
Yes.
Then it's gonna stop the work, excuse me.
I would just like to concur with the last speaker. I think now that it's been a little bit and there haven't been any high-profile police brutality cases in the news for a while, which, I mean, I hope to God that that means that they've gone down a bit and not that they're just being swept under the rug, but I don't know. I think it's still, there's a reminder that it's still a beautiful, beautiful day, today and all days, to defund the police and fund things that are. So, that's all.
Anybody else from the public on the resolutions only?
I just want to say, I came here last time to talk about the smoking ban, and I saw the changes that you guys made. I'm very thankful to that. I know it's...
The public part of it, you could do it, this is the resolution, to what resolution are you speaking to?
The smoking ban?
No, that passed already.
Oh, I know.
Yes, the ordinance. But you could say something at the end, we're going to go to the public piece of it, so. But it passed, that was at the beginning. It's part of the ordinance. Anybody else from the public? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to...
Motion. Councilmember Castaneda?
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins?
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig?
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson?
Yes.
Council President Escobar?
Yes. At this time, before we go into updates, I will ask any member of, any council members, if they have any comments, any announcement, anything that they would like to talk to the public or present. This is the time.
I have a few things I'd like to share. I don't know if anybody sees this magazine, Jersey's Best. This is a great article about New Brunswick. We are named the destination for 2025. We beat out the finalists of Fort Lee, Hillsborough, Jersey City, and Madison for it to be the top destination in the state. So this goes out. I'd like to recognize all our stakeholder partners, our city administration, the mayor, and the entire community for the growth that we've had and what we continue to do and the diversity that we all share in the city. This is a wonderful thing. Pick up this article and read it. Then I have one other announcement that for the gingerbread house contest at Christmas, Roosevelt School was the winner of the schools contest, and they did a phenomenal job. They will be presented with a trophy and certificates of awards. And Earth and Ivy won for best business in the city. So it was a really fun event that we did again this year, and hopefully it grows all the time. And I would also like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday of whatever you celebrate.
Anybody else?
I just want to reiterate that, wishing everybody a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate.
You know, on that, if you have a chance to spend it with your family, please do. Make some memories while they're here.
There's a Kwanzaa event tomorrow at 4 p.m. at the end of the
So, Joseph, a few updates since the last meeting, some things that were pending from before. There was in one of the meetings, I don't recall if it was the last one or the one before, there was a comment made that regarding this cold blue on December 4th, saying that the county had called it cold blue. But we have confirmation from the county that they never called it cold blue for December 4th. We have confirmation from Jack Kramer. He's the director of the county's Office of Emergency Management. So there was no Code Blue declared in the city for December 4th this year. And the reason was because the temperature at that day specifically, they were not expecting that temperature to go down below 34 degrees. Then on December 8th, was a little bit of confusion. The county is the only one that declares Code Blue events. The city does not. The county declared a Code Blue on December 8th. Then all of a sudden canceled the Code Blue event. So despite that the county council, the city staff decided to keep Unity Square open because it was too short notice. So there was, even though it was declared canceled, we were open. We did provide services on that day, on that night. The last council meeting, we heard a lot of comments from several residents really concerned about homelessness, or on-house residents. There was a lot of things to really take in and to really address. So I'm going to be honest, we are not ready to address them tonight. I am getting ready a report trying to address as much as I can from that meeting for the next meeting on December 30th, because I think all of them deserve an answer and deserve an update. So, but regardless of that, I just want to, one thing that I heard, it was mentioned, it was the emergency rotating shelter. And I am a witness of the great work that they do. My church has been a participant of it. The only thing that I will caution you is that, sometimes we cannot compare Code Blue with the interfaith, emergency shelter, because it's two different things, right? The emergency shelter, they work with specific individuals, right? On-house individuals that they know, they pre-screen them prior, right? Pre-screen them at the same individuals, whether it's 15 or 20. The whole season, they will go to one church, to the other church, to the other church. It's the same individuals, right? So when you do the pre-screen and you have that relationship, it makes it easier sometimes, right? Because you already know who they are. You could be ready for any unforeseen challenges that might arise, because there's like 15 or 20 different personalities, right? And I know because of personal experience, because once I served as an interpreter for them, that they have turned away, because sometimes not everyone is a good fit for the emergency rotating shelter. So we all have different processes to follow. We all have different, but they do, and by that I'm not saying anything bad about them. They are excellent. They are volunteers. They know those guests in and out. They really do. They're great, and which is helpful. You need to develop that relationship, and it's really good to see them. I enjoy them, and it's really uplifting to see how much work they do. So, but they do have a pre-screen program. They do. Code Blue is regulated by the state. It's a warming center, right? It's totally regulated, so it has different things. With that, I'm not saying that we run the best Code Blue in the county. I don't know who does, because there's always something, but we do pretty good, right? But keep in mind that don't compare one thing with the other, because I have two different situations, right? Two different programs. Like I said, I want to address some of the challenges that you brought up in front of us. I take them very seriously. Those of you that believe that we don't take seriously, just because we might not agree or we understand it in a different way, doesn't mean that we don't care. It doesn't mean that somehow we're trying to figure out how can we do better, or how can we address it, who can we contact, how can we work in different ways. It doesn't mean that we're not looking at it. And when we say we, I'm talking about the administration, everybody here, we recognize what are the challenges. We're not saying that there's none, but we're trying to work at that. We might work it in a different way that you feel that it should be worked on. That doesn't mean that ours is less or that yours is less than ours. So let's keep an open mind, let's keep an open heart, and know that we're trying to address it to the best of our abilities at this time. And we are going to continue. This is an ongoing process. It's an ongoing process of listening, it's an ongoing process of learning, and it's an ongoing process of understanding each other, that we look at things in a different way or not. But I think that the most important part is that this discussion, dialogue, respectfully, and hopefully at the end, we come up with something. At the end, it's not about me, it's not about this council, it's not about none of you. It's about all of us collectively. So let's continue to do what we need to do to make it happen. So hopefully, like I said, at the next meeting, I'll have a report with, I have 2 pages of notes that I took from the last meeting. And I will try to do my best to ensure that I answer or give an update to those points that you brought up before us. Councilwoman Petra Gaskin already said it. The NAACP has their Kwanzaa celebration tomorrow. Doors open at 3 p.m. It's going to be at the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center on the 3rd floor. There's exposition space on 9 Livingston Avenue. So always every year is better. It's a really nice activity. So making an effort to go. And then also on Saturday, we have the Sudan Street Reformed Church, along with Robert Wood Johnson Hospital, the New Brunswick Police Department, the New Brunswick Latino Firemen's Association. We are doing the Steve Jones Holiday Christmas celebration for children. This is almost the 29th year, I think, that we've been doing this, where we give out toys for the children of New Brunswick, of the community. They could take a picture with Santa, and they get toys, hot chocolate. It's a very festive. Last year we did 950 kids. So we are hoping for 1,000. That's the number that we want. So pray for us, so send us good vibes that we do 1,000 kids. That's what we're trying to do. So make sure that you invite your families. If you know anybody who could enjoy having children under 10, invite them over. 74 Drift. And I think that's it for me. I haven't. Anybody else? Nothing? We do. So at this time, I'm going to open the floor for public comments. As I announce every time we meet, this is a public comment portion. It's not a debate portion. It's not a question and answer period. If we have the answer, I will give it to you today. If not, I'm writing it down. We'll give it to you at the next one. You have 5 minutes. One time up.
Hi, Danielle Moore. Well, it's amazing how it's been 3 months. You still never answered my question. There was the Walgreens and the monument over there treated for rats. I still haven't got an answer, so it's not true what you said. But my main reason for being here, excuse me, I am a little drowsy. Like I said, I am taking very strong pain medicine for my arm. I was in the ER Monday. I had to get morphine. And I'm going to face this way because I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. The #1 person that really takes me seriously with you 2 council members, I prove to the city that I have special vision. The Lord lets me see things before it happens. Whether it's bad, it's my part due to her to not let it happen. If it's good, make sure that it happens. But wow, the only person, I will have 2 more now due to where he's not here today, but I'm going to say thank you to Captain Hira due to where at the last meeting he took the time with me to listen to me for my concerns with what I was saying to Mr. Dean. And just like I said to Mr. Dean, when you do wrong, I'm going to
will still do what's right, whether you like it or not, as long as I'm giving you your medication. I was instructed by a social worker. I will take, and I discussed with you about fire safety with Mr. Dean. And I thank you, like I said, for explaining things with me. And then due to where I would also thank Miss Cheryl Swiss, she was a witness, due to where when I went around the corner, that's where Mr. Dean's power is back on. He has electricity now. Due to where, okay, it was a situation where turning the gas on. Due to where PSE&G didn't call, it was possible an explosion would have had. And like I said, what did I was discussing with you? Fire issues, then okay, that was where PSE&G called the fire department. Oh, how I appeared. I didn't get notice. Like I said, he can't say I'm not his guardian angel. So they turned the gas back off. Then they told Mr. Dean, until he cleans up around all your heaters 3 feet away, you cannot put any heat on. That was where I took the pictures of what he brought. I went over to the fire department. Ms. Strauss-Smith, she was the witness. Due to her, please send someone over to Mr. Dean's house. And then, okay, they explained to him, and I will say thank you to New Brunswick Fire Department for taking matters seriously. Like I said, Mr. Dean is going through stress now, but if he does wrong, I will still speak up, like I said, to stop appearing from what I don't want to go find in there. And I will say, where they came in and explained, Mr. Dean, okay, we have to do it this way for our safety with heat and all, then okay. He cleaned it up. And then also checking all the smoke meters, the smoke detectors, and putting one in his bedroom. And like I said, from that day on, sometimes you just have to be the right person for a person to listen to you. Wow, Mr. Dean has really been cleaning his house out due to where now he's confirmed he's going to stay there. But like I said, my heart goes out to New Brunswick Fire Department, and like I said, for really taking me seriously to stop something that I was vision. What I see is nothing that I wish. Because what the Lord showed me when my mother was going to pass away, it's nothing that I wish. It's just that I get warned ahead of time. Then if it's good, okay, what? I saved somebody's life. That was where what? Oh, this one says, no, take him off, let him breathe. No, let him go. Due to where what? I say no. I go to the hospital. What? The husband, the sister. I touch her hand. What? She wakes up due to her period. And like I said, some of you try to make it look like I'm a devil, but I'm not. And then also I would like to speak on animal control due to where I'm not sure if it's the city or the county, but okay, God bless for neutering and spaying these cats due to it's an issue due to where having so many kittens, but I adore mine that came in where the cat ran in my house back in June and had the kittens. And then I want to get back to you with respect. This was, like I said, all about me saving people. If you want to talk about respect, you're talking about the council member that's sitting next to you with in 2002, Suzanne Shakur Ludwig, due to where what? I was just talking about, oh, when's the next time you run? When I was thinking about running for council, what did she tell me? I said, okay, I'll be waiting for you. What? Are you threatening me this more? What? If you want respect, you give respect. Due to where, please, and like I said, you try to make it look like it's me, and I'm not. But like I said, the Lord is watching all of you, and like I said, every evil eye to me has their day, so get ready.
Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council?
So what I want to say is, passion is not the same thing as disrespect. Okay? And, I think we need to take the First Amendment very seriously and let people say their piece. And if you can't handle that, then frankly, you're not fit for public office, right? So you need to get to the back of the line and let somebody step in who can handle it, right? Going on to code blue for a second, okay? I understand and I appreciate that you, Escobar, right, have done something. I haven't heard any of the rest of the city council say anything that they've done anything about this. So I'd like to know what the rest of the city council is even doing. Do you care? Have you thought about it? Obviously this is not a question and answer portion, right? about it. So thank you, Escobar, for at least doing something, right? Even if it is, bringing up something that I don't think is particularly relevant, which is some bizarre comparison, right? The point is the interfaith rotating shelter should not have to exist because we should have a public warming center that is readily available for everyone at all times, right? NGOs step in and fill the void of government, right? Because you guys failed at your job, right, of making sure that the homeless have somewhere to go. Right now, where are they going? Where do they go on nights when Code Blue's not called by the county? Where do they go? Where do they go? Where do you think they go? You guys don't know. Or you don't care. I don't know. You know where they're going? They're going to the police station. Okay? That's where they go. Where the police say, if you have to go to the bathroom, you can't go here. You gotta go outside. They don't treat people like humans down here. They don't. They don't. Okay? The same people who you're giving hundreds of thousands of dollars treat people like crap. Like the crap off your shoe, right? And also, you're like, oh, people don't need benches to sit at the bus stop. Well, look, your chair looks cozy, comfortable. If it's the same thing, if a chair is the same as a standing thing, you guys, why don't y'all install that right here? You guys can use standing benches instead of chairs. Because it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. You guys sit in comfort, right? You have this beautiful hall, right? But meanwhile, people are shivering in the cold, right? Or having to go down to the police station, which any interaction with the police, negative, could cause them to go back to prison. You're just thinking about your own perspective, right? Open up your mind. Think about the perspective of somebody who's not like you. That's what a good public official does. That's all we're asking you to do. On the smoking ban, that could be an easy conversation. An easy conversation. A compromise could have been met, right? But you're not interested in our voices, right? You're only interested in the voices associated with that particular NGO that you guys are a part of. That's a problem to me. That's a problem. And there are easy solutions. It doesn't have to be either or, right? You talk about wanting to bring the community together, but I don't see that. I don't see that effort being made, okay? And guess what? You guys are elected. And that's the only thing that gives me comfort at night, is knowing that when the voting comes around, I'm going to figure out who's running against every single one of you. And guess what? People are going to vote for Republicans because of you guys, right? I'm not a Republican. I'm not going to vote for a Republican, right? But people are going to start voting for Republicans because of the way you guys are treating people. Because you guys are not treating everybody with respect, people will start voting for Republicans. You want to know why Trump won the election? It's because of people like you. Because of the disdain that you show for everyday working and homeless people. That's why Trump got elected. You guys are so quick to blame us for asking for basic dignity, right? When meanwhile, you guys are the ones losing all the elections. Thank you very much.
Hey there, April McCarthy, Minister of Brunswick. So I know Council President Escobar mentioned that at the future meeting is when the council will address some of the concerns and recommendations that were made at the previous meeting with regards to services for the homeless population and handicapped housing. And I think did bring up correctly that it is a challenging issue and there's a lot to consider. I think that, just food for thought, please take this into consideration. I think that a big part of the reason why the public often feels that the city administration doesn't care about them or doesn't care how they feel about the issues is because the conversations that are happening on these issues are largely happening outside of the public eye. They're happening behind closed doors. And that's, you know, I'm not saying behind closed doors in like a accusatory, nefarious way. There's a lot of things that are just, it's easier. It's logistically simpler. It's long and drawn out processes and lots of meetings and lots of emails and different conversations and lots of different people involved. So it's just easier, for the most part, to limit the number of eyes on the process and say, well, we'll get it out to the public when it's done. And I get that, but that is a large part of the reason then why people feel like they're not being listened to. It's because to the extent that any of their concerns have been discussed and perhaps considered, yes, that's important, but ultimately we're going in a different direction because X, Y, Z reasons. They're not seeing that process, and because they can't see if they're not invited to the table. So I think for issues such as this, where there is a high level of public engagement and concern and interest, and it's not just the official stakeholders from official organizations with titles, but just regular everyday people that care and would engage on this and would put their time and energy and passion into this, that it is worth the extra time and the extra, jumping through logistical hoops to set up meetings and advertise that the public is welcome at those meetings and to participate in ongoing discussions, because otherwise the conversations are very limited, and to the extent that conversations happen, they're very one way, like people talking and or screaming into this microphone and you talking and or screaming back. But that's not really very productive, and I don't think any of us really enjoy that process either. So food for thought. You have a lot of ideas and recommendations that were provided to you at the last meeting that you took notes on and intend to fully digest and consider. And I would encourage that when you're considering that, you reach out to the folks that made those recommendations and invite them into the conversation in an ongoing way, not just providing a one-way update at the next meeting and have that be that. So that's point number one, and that's something I want to re-raise that I've raised at a couple of other recent meetings. That has been a repeat request. When are we going to have a representative from the police department come up to this microphone and provide a proactive update and answer questions from the public?
We have a representative every meeting here, unless you have something, and I said this before, Captain Hoover is here. If there's anything, he takes notes. If there's anything that he needs to solve questions, he's not able to answer easily because he doesn't have those readily available. But if there's anything, we'll bring it up to the next meeting. So it's not going to happen because he's here. So anything that the public brings, he takes notes. If there's anything that needs to be addressed, he'll say.
That, we're talking about two different things.
But that's where we're going. We're not doing anything, at least for now, this is what we're having.
So just for clarity, at other past meetings for other issues that people have repeatedly brought up as areas of concern, we have had the heads of various departments come up to the microphone, provide a 3 to 5 minute long update on the various programs and work and priorities of their department and say proactively, here's what we're doing, and then take questions. And what you're saying is that you're refusing to even ask the police department to do the same thing that you asked.
I'm not refusing. I'm telling you that we already have a representative here. The only thing that I told you that I will do, I could ask somebody from the community relations to talk about what activities are we doing. Some of the initiative that they're doing in the community and the schools, they could come here and do it before, and tell me that. That's
So
much I would do, community education. I could ask
report?
somebody from the police department to come in and talk about the community education initiative that they are working on. I'm willing to do that, but I'm not going to have you, the police talking about crime rates and statistics and all of that, because that, no. If we have a captain here every meeting, that he will take any questions that the public has, you write it down, and he could answer either by email if you request it, and OTRA, and there's regulations related to some of those requests, or at the next meeting. So thank you. But I could ask somebody to come and say initiatives, educational, safety initiatives, absolutely. So thank you.
Are you going to ask them to
I
do
will
that?
ask
To
if
come
that's
up with
Captain
a
Hoover.
proactive update on that.
Captain Hoover, if you could have for the next meeting, if it's possible, somebody to come in and talk about the educational and safety initiatives that we have throughout the city and in the school system.
Understood.
Thank you.
Good evening, one more time. Charlie Prattville, New Brunswick today. I wanted to say that I'm grateful for my rights as an American and a New Jerseyan, including the right to speak at these meetings. And I'm also very grateful for all the New Brunswick residents who come here and join me in exercising these rights by bringing up good ideas and asking good questions. I have some thoughts and questions to share. I think that there is a deficiency in terms of communications, transparency, and accountability. For example, at a previous meeting, we talked about crime statistics. You said they can be found on the internet. Places I look, the state website has no statistics for 2024. So would you be willing to ask the police to bring in some statistics for 2024 at the final meeting of the year?
And you and I talked about it, so why don't you mention that after that meeting? You and I talked
I have
about it.
limited time,
and
of course I remember.
And
Yeah.
I told you that I apologize, and I looked it over, there's some statistics.
They're up to 23 now. 2023
And I think I
statistics
saw
are available.
24, so I wanted to get you that. So for the state, the crime report, what I'm talking about. So I talked to you and I said, I apologize because the last time you was there, you said no problem. And if I recall correctly, Captain Hoover told you that there's have been some changes, so it's hard to grasp those statistics. So you have received some information that,
Nothing
so it's
in
hard
2024.
that to get that information that you specifically want, needs or want. I don't know if you need them, if you want it. I don't know if we're going to be able to give you that right away, so.
Okay, so maybe in 2025, we'll find out.
Maybe the next president of the council might be able to help me with that.
Okay, it's just.
Put it in the wish list.
It's, you know, I'm glad you're now correcting the record and pointing out that the information you said was available online is not actually available online.
And I said it on that day, and you and I spoke,
And
and I
you apologize
apologize
for
for
that.
that. Yeah, so
Nevertheless-
you missed that part, you missed that part. You
Nevertheless,
need to
I
set
still
that
want the statistics, so I'm back asking again, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
And can you just ask the police to bring some statistics to the next meeting?
No, because he already told you
Why
that, Captain Hoover, right, that you explain, can you explain it again for Mr. Clarabelle's clarification? The statistics, how difficult it is now because they had changed the process, right? That to get a statistic specifically what he's looking for?
It is libraries now, which, I mean, the entire state is not compliant yet. So, I mean, you're
Sounds like a problem.
saying you kind of lost me exactly what you're looking for. You want to tell me exactly what you're looking for.
Any statistics?
You gotta be specific.
2024, the current year.
We're still in 2024.
Yes.
Tell me exactly what you're looking for. I'll do what I can.
So at the last meeting, I asked, when was the last time the police solved a hit and run?
And you received a response. You didn't get
Not an answer.
You got an answer.
No, I didn't.
You
What's
got
the
an answer,
answer?
but didn't you get a response that there's a specific request and a way of that you have to request this information? Did I misunderstood that email?
I did not get an answer to the question.
Captain Shah, did he send you some, a procedure that you must follow in order to request?
He told me to
information?
file an open request with Rutgers and then come back to him after I do that to ask my questions. The question's very simple. When was the last time a hit and run was solved? Ms. Gaskins implied that there was at least one or more this year hit and run solved. When was it? Simple question. If the police can't answer that, we got bigger problems. Can you get an answer for me on that, or?
Keep communicating with the captain. He's the one you have been communicating with him.
Right, and you saw the emails. He didn't provide the answer. He said he would. He said, email me. I always answer you.
And he
then
answered
I
you that
didn't get
Captain Shah answered.
the answer. I had this email a few times, and just today I got the answer that basically said, I understand you've already gotten your answer, which is gaslighting. And I brought it up before. You've done this before, where you say, you already got the answer. But you actually...
I see the emails, Mr. Crowderville.
What's the answer then? When was the last time the police solved a hit and run?
You get a response. It's
Right.
not the one that
A
you
dodgy
get a
response that doesn't answer the question. Through the chair for Ms. Gaskins, can she tell me what she knows about the last time the Brunswick police solved a hit and run?
Ms. Gaskin, would you like to answer this question?
I do want to be clear. I didn't say this was the last hit and run. I just, in response pursuing hit and runs. I saw the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, at least this year, there was at least a couple press releases where they said that someone has been charged in connection with a hit and run that involved Brunswick.
Really?
Yes. I can send you what happened.
If you can, I would appreciate it. I've been trying to get a straight answer and I haven't gotten it yet. So the two hit and runs we talked about, Jersey Handy, Easton, and Hamilton, haven't been solved yet, is that correct? Can you ask the police?
Captain Hoover, is that still under investigation?
Correct. Okay, the city's being sued over the 45-story building that's proposed, and I believe a judge's order halted the sale of the land that the city forgot it owned. Do you have any update? I understand there was a hearing yesterday.
I'll get you the answer because your time is up.
Okay.
So the 45, that's the one on...
Abundant Light. Yeah, I have a few more questions, if you could just give me another minute.
I'll put write it down real quick, I'm not going to answer them.
Okay.
Real quick,
So,
Mr.
why is the county keeping it secret that AST Development is being contracted to build an office building for the county in New Brunswick?
Why did you ask the county? Why are you asking us instead of the county? How do we know why the county's,
I brought it to the attention of the planning director, and maybe I'll ask them too. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I also have asked about Michael Schultz. He's facing DWI and trespassing charges. I need to know if he's still an active firefighter, or if he's, not part of the team anymore. And I also have to ask if firefighters are allowed to have sexual intercourse at the firehouses. And I'm only asking because I got a tip that has happened. And I want to confirm whether that's something that's allowed or not allowed. And I'll yield the floor, but I do want to say very happy and healthy holiday to everybody here.
It's a service organization, but thank you, Mr. President. Happy holidays. Before we close, would you like to say something?
Yeah. My name is Brandon Gilbo. I live on Harvey Street. I don't know if you guys listen to me or other people. I do appreciate the changes that you guys made in that ordinance for the smoking ban. It does make a huge difference for me as a resident, for me as somebody who works here, and a ton of my friends who are going to be spending $250 for smoking something walking down the street. And I don't know about the legality of the firefighters banging in the fire station, but let them boys get their thing on, all right? Y'all have a good night.
On that note, I will entertain a motion to
Motion to adjourn.